So, how do you advise people to deal with the uncertainty and to realize when they're trying to hold on to the cheese and go find, something else?
You know, I know this boils down to the things we both know, and if you listen to Maria, you already know this, but I want to share the number one thing you got to shift is your focus and your beliefs, right? The next is be an investigative reporter, discover new industries that are evolving, like the knowledge industry and other things online that are growing exponentially. Like, what is the next Uber compared to taxis? What's the next Blockbuster, or what's the next Amazon or Netflix, right? So you need to be an investigative reporter and kind of look through things. We need to live more offensively than defensively. When the world shifts like this, we start backing up and figuring out how we could solve problems rather than working on where we should go. But if you just take focus and beliefs, I'm going to tell you a simple story, and then we can have a great conversation for that. But this is a true story in Utah, in Salt Lake City, Utah. I have a friend of mine that lives there, and he knows two families that own restaurants. They're about 3 miles apart on opposite sides of the street. And if you don't believe beliefs and focus is everything in a time like this, you're wrong, because two restaurants, COVID hits. The one restaurant, the gentleman had owned it for many years. He said he was just mad. He was blaming China, Trump, everything possible. He didn't get his PPP money, the stimulus. He missed the deadline and had to shut down, and just angry and pissed and just mad. 3 miles down the same road in Salt Lake City, on the other side of the street, some brothers owned a barbecue restaurant. The weekend they were shut down, they all went to Lowe's and Home Depot, or one or the other. They got wood and they built this cool outside drive-through. They went inside, Maria, and they moved the stoves and kitchen and all around so everybody could be 6 feet apart. They opened up 48 hours later, and my buddy Randy told me to get barbecue, you got to wait in line for an hour, right? So let's just think about this. What is the difference between the two? Was it one had a better restaurant, one had a better sign? Was it the logo? It had nothing to do with that. One person, as Tony says, it was the end, and someone else, it was a beginning.
Yep.
Right? And it was just innovation. It was focus. It was the belief that they could. And I could picture, like 5 years from now, the one guy says, if somebody brings up 2020, says, oh my God, 2020, that COVID, that President, China, they ruined my life. I went out of business. I had a 20-year business. I can't believe it. And the other guy says, oh my God, COVID, we converted to drive-throughs. Now we got 22 stores. We're thriving like crazy. So when someone says it's COVID, it's your belief around COVID. When someone says it's race relations, it's your belief around the situation. When someone says it's the election coming up, no, it's your belief around the election. As hard as that sounds, it's why I read personal growth still every day. I mean, I write books on it. I'm multiple New York Times bestselling author on it, but I still listen and read and go to Date with Destiny and UPW and other stuff, because if we don't stay in the right place here, we fall back to that. I'm going to sit here until the world fixes it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's interesting because I remember even with our business at AfterBuzz TV, so we produce about 150 hours of programming a week. I felt what was coming. Like, I knew New York was going to quarantine at least a week before anybody else did. And I was like, guys, you guys are going to be in quarantine. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, you're going to be in quarantine. So we, within 24 hours, shifted to Zoom. Everyone quarantined in the house, worked together. We set up an engineer booth of like a bunch of desks, and we didn't even miss one day of production. We were back up, but that is us just kind of being like, we're not going to stop. Oh, this is the new circumstance. Okay, cool. We're going to shift this way because we saw the possibility. I remember telling Kevin, I'm like, all right, honey, I've already done the prototype. We're going to do Zoom. It's going to be great. Steven and I just tested, and he goes, Zoom. And I had already started Zoom meetings because of brain surgery. So instead of running around the city to talk to people or take meetings, I had changed my lifestyle and I started doing Zooms, and people were looking at me like I was kooky. But I was like, why am I going to drive an hour to come talk to you when I can talk to you like this? This is the same thing. And now nobody has to worry and stress and the parking and the this and the that. So I had it in the back of my head instantly. But I think that you're right. It's really what we believe, and are we going to succumb?
Yeah.
Or are we going to push forward?
Our brain, I mean, I believe, I know it sounds crazy, but I believe most of us, I think I was born a pessimist that my brain wants to tell me what's wrong, and I've worked my entire life to be an optimist to figure out what could be right. Like when things go sideways, my focus wants to go, oh my God, We got to go virtual. My team's not, I mean, I have an office. I'm in my office right now. We built a brand new office for our 100 employees. And there's 4 people here. We went virtual. We had to, right? But your brain can either go to, I can't believe all these things, and what am I losing, and who's taking it away from me, and whose fault it is. Or when that happens, we have to train our brain to go, what is the new opportunity? How could I do it virtually? How could we create? And it's, listen, the 2 things that'll save you is innovation and resourcefulness in times like that. And what allows them to happen is get into your personal growth. Like the reason you shifted so quick, Maria, is because you've been working on your personal growth, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, you've been working on this, the brain muscle, right? On a regular basis. You don't just read a book and then hope the rest of your life is good, right? We practice this on a regular basis. And I think that's a great encouragement to, you know, work on those things, because most of the time strategy doesn't get you out of a situation like this alone. You can strategize all you want, but if deep down you're scared, you're uncertain, you don't take confident action, you work on defense, not offense, you're trying to protect what you have rather than going where you need to go, you'll slip and you'll fall behind.
What's up? What's up? Hey, before you go, you need to watch these next few videos. They're absolute game changers. Hurry up and click right over here and watch them, and I'll see you there.